Boker Tov, Rabbi. It's 9:15 and you're live.
Thank you, Raya. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our morning daily shir during the week on Chassidut. We're in the middle of learning Perek Daled Mishna Vav and Pirkei Avot, Ethics of Our Fathers, Chapter 4, Mishna 6. We started learning, of course, Raya and Mordechai, thank you for broadcasting and hosting the shir. We started learning about the whole idea of respect. When we talk about Kol HaMechabedet HaTorah, whoever honors the Torah, Gufo mechubad al habriot, his body, he himself becomes honored. So we talked about different types of respect. You're supposed to respect every single person, even someone who is his only advantage is that he's a creation of Hashem and may not have anything else special to share. And also we talked about honoring Torah learners, Torah scholars. We talked about honoring one's spouse and one's children. On a very important subject about the honor of a woman, Kvoda Shel Isha. The Tehillim, David HaMelech says in the Tehillim in chapter 45, Kol Kvoda Bat Melech Pnima. Every honorable woman, a daughter of a king, inward. She is inward. In other words, we have the subject of being modest. And modest means to be, not to be boastful and loud, rather to be quiet and modest. Now, modest, as we're going to see in a moment, has a couple of explanations. One meaning is externally to act modestly. Another meaning of the word modest is the way one acts. And the point that we're going to try to bring out today, B'ezrat Hashem, is that when a person acts properly, especially in the sense of modesty, and that adds honor to the person. While most people may think that that the purpose of being modest is for other people, the point that we're going to try to bring out today is that when a person acts and dresses modestly, then that adds to the respect of the own individual. Not necessarily, not only for other people, the way other people are going to view it and the way other people are going to see, rather that they're going to add more respect for themselves. In Mitzrayim, in Egypt, there was a Jewish woman. Her name was Shlomit Bat Divri. One of the interpretations is that the reason why she was called Bat Divri is that she was very, very talkative. In other words, she would greet people, all kinds of people, men as well, and in a very, perhaps too much of an outgoing way. And at the end, she ended up, unfortunately, violating one of those mitzvahs, which is having relations with someone that was forbidden. So we have the concept of respecting oneself and being able to have the idea of respecting oneself and being able to keep towards the person's own kavod and being more inward as opposed to outward. Also in a positive sense, the whole idea of tzniut and modesty can be brought out in the positive sense that when Balak when he brought Bilam, to do the opposite of a blessing for Am Yisroel, and so Bilam looked over all of the tents, and he noticed that the openings of every tent was not totally directly in front of the opening of the other tent, so that people don't look into the private life of someone else. And then he said the famous verse, that we say every morning. Ma tovu oalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisroel. How beautiful are the tents of Am Yisrael. So that is one of the advantages of Am Yisrael, that we act modestly. According to this, we can understand that it's a mistake to say that a woman has to be dressed and act modestly just so that not to mislead the men. Rather, for the woman themselves, without any connection to the men, it's important to respect oneself and to keep that which is precious private. For example, we know that a Torah is kept in a safe in a very special place. The tablets were kept in the Kodesh HaKodashim. Someone that has a precious stone or a precious diamond, you want to keep it away from the eyes of everyone else. If you have special information, which can be, the information can be private information. So you want to keep it from other people so no one else finds out about that information. However, if it's something which is cheap, then something is cheap is open and available for everyone. You go to the shuk, you go to the marketplace, and everybody can touch the fruits and choose whichever fruit they want, or other stuff that's open. This cheap stuff is open, but you want to buy something precious. Either it's going to be behind a locked glass, or even more private that people can't even see it. So the same thing is by a body, especially the body of a Jew. The body of a Jew is considered kadosh, is considered holy, and therefore not only of a woman, also of a man. And therefore it's very important to be dressed modestly and to be dressed respectfully, because at the end of the day, that respects the person himself, especially it respects Hashem, who created the body. The story is told about the two holy brothers, Balatanya, and they were also students of the holy Maggid of Mezrich. That they once came to one of the to one city, and everybody came to greet them. One of the rich people of the city came and asked and begged them to stay over in his beautiful home. However, the holy brothers, they went specifically to a simple poor Jew. And he would welcome them, he would host them even before they became famous. So they said to the rich person, for us, we are the same as we always were. Therefore, we'd like to stay in the same simple hotel or home as in the past. The only difference is that we used to walk by foot, and now we travel with a horse and buggy. So if you want, you can host the horses. So too, a woman draws attention when she dresses with clothes that are not modest. So what does she do? She wants to attract honor, quote unquote, but that's not the true attention that she deserves for her innermost being. But she's dealing with external items. So this way, she's hurting herself in a sense. So practically speaking, a woman that tries to show off her physical body, she can bring someone to think that she doesn't really have any inner quality. So that's why the best thing is to share Torah, to share Torah classes, And the inner quality, which that's the most part of the greatest part of the Jewish woman, which in a sense she has much more inner quality than even the Jewish man. We said earlier that someone who runs away from honor, the honor runs after them. And so at the end of the day, a woman who acts modestly, she merits that good things run after her. For example, Sarai Imenu, she merited to have a son. When the angels came to tell Avram and Sarah that they're going to have a son, they said, "Where is Sarah?" What's behind that question is, how is it that Sarah had a merit to have a son? And what did Avram answer? Hine ba'oel, she's in the tent. It wasn't just a technical thing where she is, but it was because of the sachar and the reward that she was in her tent, that she was modest, that gave the bracha that she should have a son. Tamar, she had a merit to start off the kingdom of Malchut Beit David because she was modest in the home of her father-in-law. Kimchit, the Medrash tells us, she had the merit in the honor of her modesty that her sons were Kohanim Gedolim, they were high priests. That we know that she made sure that even in the privacy of her own home, her hair was always covered. Let's finish off this year with a couple of stories. Number one, there are two great tzaddikim, Rabbi Yehuda ben Attar and Rabbi Avner Tzarfati, in the city of Pas. So they also found next to their tombstones, to their burial places, there's a woman by the name of Sulika. Sulika was a young woman in a Jewish family, and she was beautiful. Also, her midot, the way she acted was beautiful. She tried to keep to her inner kavod, inner honor. One day, the son of the king saw her, and he really wanted to marry her. And he told his daughter that she has to become a Muslim, and if not, she will be treated terribly. And then when she refused to become Muslim, she was taken to jail. And when they had a court case for her, they ruled that she has to convert to Islam. But Sulika, she was not afraid of all the threats, and she agreed to give over her soul for Kiddush Hashem. The king promised her honor and wealth, and on the other hand, he said to her, if she does not agree, then he will hurt the other Jews in Morocco. Sulika did not care, and she said that no one has a right to touch my people. And they judged her with a very terrible death, that they tied her to a horse. They dragged her through the town of Pas until she passed away. Before she passed away, she asked one request: to have pins and clips. She connected her clothes to her body in order that she should be modest even in the final moments of her life. From that day and on, Sulika, she became a sign of holiness and an example to the Jews of Morocco. And for any pain they had, they used to go to her kever, used to go to her resting place, and right away they would become answer. Other story is a story from the Shoah, from the Holocaust. There was a Jewish woman that lived in the ghetto the time of the Holocaust. At one point, her family decided to go to hiding, and they went in They went out at an early hour. For some reason, the daughter was supposed to join them later on. When she wanted to go out of the home, it was already dangerous for the Jews to go outside. She wasn't sure if she should change her clothes in order that she should seem like non-Jewish women. But at the end of the day, the Jewish voice inside of her called out to her to keep on to the tzniut and modesty. And she dressed modestly to go out. Baruch Hashem, she succeeded to go through that area that she had to pass through, and she reached her family. When she told her mother about her question, her deliberation, so her mother said, "It's a miracle that you did not open your shirt and dress unmodestly, because they would have seen your Magen David hanging, and they would have right away recognized you as a Jewish woman." So at the end of the day, acting with tzniut actually saved her. Thank you very much for joining us. B'ezrat Hashem, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning and learning together. All the best.